Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society of Schenectady. I am the Reverend Margie Allen. She, her are good pronouns for me, although public bathroom users and salespeople sometimes get confused and then they get anxious. These days, in some states, that kind of confusion can get a gender ambiguous person arrested. Think of that. I am retired from 17 years as a UU minister and 22 as a cardiac surgery critical care nurse. I and my likewise retired minister wife, Linda Anderson, are delighted to be congregants like you these days. We consider ourselves outrageously lucky to have resettled near this congregation. We hope you know or will come to know how very fortunate you are to have also found such a vibrant community of seekers, nurtured by such stellar ministers and staff. You have no idea. Whether you are here in the room right now or watching on a screen in the Zoom room, Linda and Tom Comprin and I, your service leaders, are grateful you've chosen to spend some time with us this morning. We hope you come away with nourishment for the week and some insights to take to heart. If you're visiting us for the first time, we offer you an especially warm welcome. Let's take some time now to sit together in stillness. This morning, I would like to offer a guided meditation. If those words, guided meditation, fill you with dismay, don't worry. If you'd rather just sit and let the words wash over you while you engage in your own reflections or pray in your own way, fine. If you start out with me and then wander off from where I bring you, fine. But listen, I'd love for you to tell me later where you went. We start with that image up on the screen there. Take a look and then settle in with your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. My words are grouped into 7 sets with pauses in between. Linda will sound the Sanghas bell at the end of each set to let you know the words have stopped for a while. Those of you on Zoom may not be able to hear the bell well or at all, and we apologize for that. It shouldn't affect your experience, though. After the last bell, we'll have some moments for our own internal prayers or meditations as usual. After that shared quiet time, Maria's piano will help us float back into the room to continue on with the service. So here we go. Here is an image of a grand old tree with a large trunk and a high leaf canopy. It might look familiar to you because it grows very near to where we're sitting now. I invite you to sit and lean your back against her. The ground is dry, no worries. Just ease yourself down. Cross your legs or stretch them out. The trunk of this tree, your tree, is shaped perfectly to welcome the curve of your spine. It is cool in the dappled shade. There's a refreshing breeze. The leaves are brushing against one another in a soft song. Listen. Settle in. Let yourself sink back into communion with the flow of life and energy through the tree, from deep sinking roots to sun-reaching leaves, roots sending minerals and water up, leaves drawing in carbon dioxide, breathing out oxygen, making sunshine into fuel for living. Where your body meets the ground upon which you are seated, feel now your own root reaching down, branching out, interweaving with the tree's own root system. Feel the breadth of that spread, the depth of that reach, the intermingling with the roots of other trees and plants, and with fungal threads, the internet of the ground. Listening to the conversations there between neighbors, know that you also are a neighbor. Join in. Ask what's going on. And now feel your arms reaching out and up in your mind, or actually up towards the canopy of the tree and the nourishing sun, the wisdom in that reaching. Look only for your piece of the light, for the warmth, the hum of photosynthesis, the flow of joy, and the yes that turns the leaves of your fingertips towards the sun's rays, toward the reaching branches of the neighboring trees, balancing each other way up there, sharing strength, sharing rootedness, sharing sunlight and news. This is what sustains and empowers you. This current that enlivens the web of all life flows also through you, between you, among you, flows the healing teaching, uniting, nourishing, inspiring, creating energy of life. What we here sometimes call the spirit of life, the breath of life, the sustainer, the one that makes us one. I leave you now in a place of no words to plant this experience in your consciousness as a seat you can return to for refuge and for rest and for renewal when you feel undone by the world. Come back here to remember that in the nourishment of earth and sun, in the company of kindred beings, however unlike us, in the rhythm of giving and receiving, and in the web of life energy that unites us, is everything we need for healing, for growth, and for joy. Linda and I planted 3 trees this past week out in the lawn, a little bit beyond the biggest of the 25-year-old perennial gardens our house came with when we took our post-retirement leap to Charlton. These were the first trees I'd ever planted, actually. So I was careful to follow the directions the growers provided. I dug 3 holes, 2 feet in diameter and 2 feet deep, then put all the soil back in, topsoil first, amended with peat and composted manure and coast of Maine soil mixed expressly for trees. Linda then held the trees straight while I settled their roots at the right depth and filled in with soil so the top to the top of the hole, and then water, of course, a support stake, the little label. I wanted these trees, 2 different peach trees in back and an orange blooming witch hazel named Diane in the front. I wanted them to live longer than we will, to feed and delight other families of humans and many families of insects and birds over many years. I hope that we did the right thing by them, that they will thrive in their new, hopefully rightly furnished rooms. They've moved in with us, and as they take root, we also root ourselves more deeply in this new earth to us. Trees are like apartment buildings, like guardians, like earth anchors, like ladders. They are clocks like Big Ben, but tracking not minutes and hours, but seasons and years and millennia as they pass. They are like picture frames for rivers and towns and stars and for the moon. They are the ultimate meditators and also stalwart, patient, nourishing meditation supporters. And yes, they can be friends. Did any of you have tree friends when you were young? Or maybe you have some now, or remember some from every place you've ever lived. I grew up on a college campus in Southwest Virginia, Hollins College at the time, now Hollins University. Faculty brats on faculty row made fast kid friends quickly. But I was also a wanderer and a soloist, like Bertolt, the tree's human boy friend. And I was also a big fan of trees. I knew every tree on campus, I think. Some favorites for climbing, like the crab apples along the sidewalk by the president's house, or the willows that grew outside my bedroom window by the house. Some trees with perfect root formation to shape towns and houses and cities, especially trees by a stream, so that the stick people could establish some commerce on the water. Some with shade and moss for hot days, or bright colored leaves for a third grade science project, or bark perfect for whittling, or abundant fallen sticks that made great walking companions for a soloist kid. A sycamore stick named Bernice stayed with me for years. Sycamore sticks have a lot of personality. And then, by and large, the kind of life happened that separated me from the earth-connected kid that I was. Put me to work in college and hospitals and more school, put me in cities like Cincinnati and Chicago, where study and work often kept me in a chair more of the day than was healthy, had me filling out patient records, reading reams of books, writing papers, writing hundreds of sermons, looking at computer screens, a world of buildings and pavement and cars and rushing about getting things that matter less. Who knew? But getting them done. And meanwhile, I got older, had surgeries, broke bones, made scars, gained weight, lost strength, manifested an autoimmune disease. I went through what most of us face or are going through now. I aged away from the earth and respect for my own body, and really didn't understand how much that growing distance impacted my quality of life. In the first year of retirement, I found a stick in the woods behind my friend June's house in Vermont. June is watching on Zoom. It was a beech stick, and it had aged in a particularly beautiful way. That stick sent me on a year-long obsession with collecting fallen walking stick-sized branches from different kinds of trees. I would then remove the bark and what I call knife polish the wood beneath, trying to bring out the features of that particular kind of wood, the unique characteristics of that tree, and the signs of all the things that stick had weathered before it fell and after. Then I applied several layers of marine varnish and polished that up, and I have some of those sticks here, the ones I didn't give away. They are beautiful, and they each tell an interesting story, even though they do not function in the role they were born for, even though insects plagued them, even though bits of them rotted, even though they had big cracks in them, even though the tree they were on was dying, even though they broke when they fell. Even before I worked on them, they were plenty beautiful. I did not know at first why I was doing this. Day in, day out, for many days. But eventually, after the fever broke, I realized what you might already have figured out. When I retired, I also was a stick fallen from the tree. I also wear my wounds and scars in beauty. I also am good for something else. I also am of the earth. And once again, Styx and I are fast friends. I decided in the longer run that I will age mindfully toward the earth. We all end up there, whether mindfully or not. I will reconnect with earthly things like perennial gardens and seeds and planting orchards and growing food and flowers. I will regain and maintain my strength as much as I can. I will walk. I will stay on my feet. I will accept what comes next. I will house life, guard life, anchor life, frame life, track life, and nourish life like my friends the trees, patiently, acceptingly, life lovingly, until I too fall. This last slide is a photo taken by the artist, my friend Sally Moore, from my Holland's childhood. We grew up together. It's a photo of a wire sculpture of a human form leafing out. He's standing with his back to us and his hand out, and he's engaging his hand. The sculpture is called Green Man Turning. And Sally notes, the leaves coming from his fingers are still brown and withering, which is what he is turning to examine. How different are we really from other life forms on Earth? Heartwood's tree speaks desperately to the cutter. I drink the rain, I eat the sun, I give you the breath that fills your lungs. I hear the roaring engines thrum, but I cannot run. Scientists find it appalling when women ascribe human abilities, when people ascribe human abilities and feelings to non-human beings. Anthropomorphizing, it's called. The tree in this amazing song drinks, eats, gives, hears, and might have run if not for the darn roots that hold them fast and helpless to avoid an early death. Most of us know, though, that fascinating science is still uncovering how fluids really do move through the tree's busy vessels, the chemical beauty of how photosynthesis turns sunlight into energy, and the role of the vast networks of connecting roots and fungal filaments in signaling information, sharing nutrients, and protecting progeny, among other things. And we know that trees can and do run long distances if they need to, but at an almost incomprehensibly slow rate, fast enough to make adjustments to climate change possible, but not fast enough to outrun the chainsaws. But what anthropomorphizing, in my opinion, can do is touch our human hearts. Hugging a tree or connecting to one in meditation can affect us over time, maybe help to heal us. We don't know yet how the tree processes our touch, but in a way, it doesn't even matter. People like you and me with love at the center, we know that love is a powerful form of energy that only does good or nothing, which is fine. But the good we do in loving can be healing, transformative, it can be life-saving, even if we never know the first bit of science about it. Once when I was serving in the Stony Brook Fellowship on Long Island, I was telling a story in a sermon about how mad I was at the puppy we were raising, that puppy being now almost 14 years old. Linda was planted in the congregation with a microphone connected to the same speakers as the pulpit mic. Jampa, I said in the sermon, had peed again right in front of the door. I raged about he was the wrong dog for us, how we should take him back to the breeder. And during this pause, Linda spoke in a Jampa voice saying, I'm sorry, I'm just a baby. His voice came to people's ears as if I had said it, but I hadn't. Jampa had. Linda and I were replaying an experience we'd had at home, and that experience had changed my relation to Jampa in 2 seconds. His words humbled me. What if we humans were to practice being humble before living things that do not seem to live as we do, or value what we do, or communicate as we do, or cling to life as we do? What if we are not the smartest species that ever arose from the muck of creation? What if the world around us really is our best teacher? A scripture written in science and beauty and patterns and cycles that we can only read if we nurture respectful, observant, humble, and affectionate relationships with every one of our sibling beings that we meet on our path. What if community meant the parks and street trees and public gardens, as well as the humans who live among them? What if we are all not only interdependent, a big word among UUs, but equally gifted, every living being? What if a purposeful, humble effort to connect opens a guiding scripture that our own arrogance and our distractions hide from us? Braver, Wiser is a weekly series of reflections by UUs focused on courage and compassion in daily life. They issue from the UUA's, the UU Association's worship web. One came out not too long ago called "These Are My People." Karen Johnson, our minister up in Burlington, wrote it, inspired by Buddhist Sharon Salzberg, who looked around at an airport gate and saw all the people sitting there and said to herself, "These are my people." Reverend Karen began practicing that mantra everywhere, at a concert, in a grocery store, on the cold, cold protesting streets of Minneapolis, everywhere she went, looking around and saying, "These right here are my people." Those 3 baby trees that Linda and I planted are my people. The tall, tall trees that stand watch over our backyard, you saw a picture of them actually, these are my people. The bees that are flying in and out of their holes in the spring garden right now, they are my people. The moles and voles that ravaged our front yard last summer, they are my people. The daffodils and alliums that are breaking through the dry earth today, this morning, they are my people too. And the rose bushes in Schenectady's Central Park, they are my people. The trees in the backyard over there, they are our people. You sat under one of them during the meditation. That tree is a member of this congregation. Isn't that lovely? The Gospel of Trees, a reading from the Gospel of Trees. I will connect with like and unlike. I will maintain my strength as best I can. I will stay on my feet. I will stay rooted in my community. I will accept what comes next. I will house life, guard life, anchor life, frame life, track life, and nourish life patiently, acceptingly, life-lovingly, until I too fall. Amen. Good words, benediction, a blessing. Our brave and skilled astronauts landed safely, falling like a dream under red and white parachutes into the Pacific Ocean. They were right on time. They bring us news from very far away, and they were all smiles. They and their comrades on the ground at NASA are our people. Their families and everyone who feared for them and were proud of them, they are our people. May they sense our gratitude for good and exciting news in the midst of so much news that is not good and is distressing. This week, this is the blessing. This week, may you land with a splash, right on time, amid your people and beloved.